So what would a Christian America, the Christian America that Donald Trump and Speaker Johnson are trying to push on us look like? And how does this come about? Well, for example, in West Virginia, just yesterday, a handful of state senators, actually a large handful, Amy Grady, Jay Taylor, Mike Stewart, Roland Roberts, Rupi Phillips, Vince Deeds, Eric Tarr, Michael Anziger, filed Senate Bill 230, which would add a clause to the state code letting teachers tell kids that intelligent design is what created the universe. Yeah. This, intelligent design is just, an attempt to make creationism sound scientific. But, this is, here's a guy, you got an entire state. Monday of this week, Martin Luther King Day, was also National Religious Freedom Day. And it was National Religious Freedom Day because it is the anniversary, it's the date, January 16th, was the date on which Thomas Jefferson first published, at the age of 33, by the way, published his Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom. This is when he was in the Virginia House of Burgesses, a mere state representative. And it's a big deal. It basically says you can't be prosecuted, persecuted, or prevented from participating in government because of your religion or because you have no religion. Even Antonin Scalia in 1990, in this case, Employment v. Smith, wrote, this was a case where the Native Americans were saying, we'd like to be able to use peyote even though it's illegal because it's our religion. And the Supreme Court turned them down. And Scalia said, the rule respondents favor would open the prospect of constitutionally required religious exemptions from civic obligations of almost every conceivable kind, ranging from compulsory military service to the payment of taxes, to health and safety regulations such as manslaughter and child neglect laws, compulsory vaccination laws, drug laws, and traffic laws, to social welfare legislation such as minimum wage laws, child labor laws, animal cruelty laws, environmental protection laws, and laws providing for equality of opportunity for the races. In other words, he's saying, you could use religion as an excuse to break any of these laws and get away with it if the Supreme Court rules this way. This was, again, in 1990, and this was Scalia. He said the First Amendment's protection of religious liberty does not require this. To permit this would be to make the professed doctrines of religious belief superior to the law of the land, and in effect to permit every citizen to become a law unto himself. Well, that's exactly what 6 hardcore right-wing Catholics on the U.S. Supreme Court want to do. And there's no, I shouldn't even call them just Catholics, fundamentalists. And this has gotten so absurd that there was a reporter from the Young Turks who was interviewing people at a recent Trump rally, and there was this woman with a giant crucifix around her neck and a T-shirt that said, "Hang Joe Biden for treason." And he's like, would Jesus be okay with that? And she's like, well, of course. Yeah. This is not what our founders wanted. The father of the Constitution, James Madison, his first veto, literally his first veto was on February 21st, 1811. And President Madison vetoed a bill that would give federal money to a church to care for poor people. And Madison vetoed that legislation, even though it had passed both the House and Senate. He vetoed it, saying that this bill to provide for support of the poor and education of poor children would be a precedent for giving to religious societies in carrying into effect a public and civil duty. In other words, this is the job of the government, we should not be paying churches to do this. We should simply be doing it ourselves. But it's gotten so bad that a third of evangelicals polled say violence is okay to advance political goals, something that is literally the exact opposite of Jesus' teachings. And you've got Mike Johnson running around going, yeah, we need to do this. Religion. I mean, he's been a lifelong advocate, apparently, of replacing our government with a theocracy, turning America into a theocracy, making America more like Iran. And make no mistake about it, that's what these guys want to do. Abortion is illegal in Iran. you can't commit blasphemy in Iran. You have to say prayers in Iran if you're a student in school every day. I mean, this is what they want to do here. And it's, it's wrong, it's bizarre, and it's a very, very bad thing.